What's up guys? Today I bring you a brand new smartphone launch. This is the IQOO Neo 10 global version. Roll the intro. So a new mid-ranger from IQOO with a good mix of flagship and mid-range specifications, and the main highlights of this phone: Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 performance with a secondary IQOO Q1 supercomputing chip. The Neo 10 has a very generous 7000 mAh equivalent battery and supports 120 watt fast charging. So quite excited to see what this one can do. But first of all, let me show you what you get inside the box. So we got paperwork, SIM eject tool. So we got a soft touch silicone smartphone case included in the box. Type-C to Type-C charging cable. This also comes with a 120 watt flash charger included in the box. And last but certainly not least, the smartphone itself. Now let's talk about the price. IQOO has not actually declared the price at the time of shooting this video. The rumored price is around £316 from the base model, so that's 12 plus 256, and around £360 for the 12 plus 512, which I have here. And if those rumors are correct, then the IQOO Neo 10 is going to be pretty bang for your buck. Now let's talk about design. The phone is made from a polycarbonate frame and back cover with a nice matte finish, which is not prone to fingerprints. I have here the gold color, but you can also pick this up in red, white, black, or even orange. The Neo 10 has rounded edges and flat sides, and the phone feels quite sturdy in the hands. The thickness of this phone is 8.09 millimeters and weighs 206 grams. We have an interesting camera bump design with 2 camera sensors and LED flash. And you have a rather nice chrome trim going around the camera modules. So more details on the cameras and samples coming up later in the video. But first, let's talk about that display. So you're looking at a 6.78 inch AMOLED display with a screen resolution of 2800 by 1260. This phone does support dynamic refresh rate adjustment up to 144 Hz depending on what you're doing, but you also have the option to go 60 Hz or 144 Hz all the time, and then you can also select which apps can use the higher refresh rate and switch them on and off accordingly. This phone also has Google Widevine Level 1 certification and supports HDR10, HDR10 Plus and HLG, and the peak brightness can get up to 5500 nits. Now, as with most mid-range smartphones, it has not been specified which type of glass protection is being used, whether it's Gorilla Glass or Panda Glass or something else. But if I find out this information, I will update you guys in the description box. But otherwise, nice bright AMOLED display, and the bezels are nice and symmetrical going all the way around. Okay, now let's check out the ports. At the bottom of the phone, you'll find your SIM card tray, and in case you're wondering, that is a dual nano 5G SIM tray. Microphone, Type-C charging port, and a loudspeaker. On the side, we have our power and volume buttons. Up on top, we have a microphone and IR blaster, and the secondary speaker is located on the earpiece. And finally, on this side, we have nothing. Okay, so now let's talk performance. This phone is powered by the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4, which is a 4nm octa-core clocked at 3.2 GHz. And for graphics, we have the integrated Adreno 825. So the new Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 is 31% faster with 49% faster graphic performance than last year's Snapdragon 8S Gen 3. Furthermore, this phone has 12 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and 512 gigs of UFS 4.0 storage. Furthermore, this phone does support virtual RAM extension, so you can expand the RAM by 12 gigabytes using your free internal storage space, effectively giving you 24 gigs of RAM. The RAM expansion feature can be switched on and off as required, but you cannot select or define a lower amount of RAM as it's fixed at 12 gigabytes only. The only option you have is to switch it on or off. Now, as I mentioned earlier, DRM info shows Widevine Level 1 certification, and as you can see, Netflix with HDR10 is supported. And if we look at the Netflix playback specifications, you can see Widevine Level 1, maximum playback resolution is Full HD, and you can see HDR10 is supported. Now moving on to the benchmarks, starting off with Geekbench, single core score of 1975 and multi-core score of 6827. And in 3D Mark Solar Bay Test, this achieves an overall score of 8496. In Wildlife Extreme, we get 3486. And in Steel Nomad Lite, an overall score of 1213. And finally, Antutu benchmark test, this phone achieves 1.9 million. Alright, moving on to gaming. So you can basically play any game from the Play Store. No doubt about that. Plenty of power and performance. And you can play on the highest graphics. Alright, so let's check out the graphics settings for COD Mobile. You can see maximum graphics selectable is max with maximum frame rate. The option for Ultra is there. If we select it, it will drop the graphics down to medium. So let's test this game out on the maximum settings and see how it plays.
Changing mag, cover me. Reloading. Headshot. Changing mag, cover me. Tango down. Reloading, cover me. Target down. Tango down. Predator missile on standby. Predator missile inbound.
Alright, so checking out the thermals, you can see moderate throttling at 38.8 Celsius. So the temperature is rising, and that was with one game of Call of Duty. The gameplay was fine. I didn't notice any dips in the frame rate. The gameplay was smooth. The phone is slightly warm to the touch. Nothing worrying so far. That played pretty normal on the highest graphics. Now we're going to switch over to Call of Duty Warzone. So Warzone graphics settings, we're going to max out every setting. So here are the thermals. Critical condition 45.6. Do everything to reduce power. It didn't affect the gameplay at all. I was able to play the game and enjoy it on the highest settings. But you can see the thermals, it wasn't enjoying the game on the highest graphics. So if you want to play Warzone on this, you want to tone it down, bring it down to medium graphics, and then you should be good to go. Alright, so quick mention of the battery. So we have a 7000 milliamp hour equivalent silicon carbon battery, and it supports 120 watt fast charging. Charger is included in the box, and it takes 36 minutes for a full charge, which is insanely fast. Now let's talk cameras. We have dual cameras on the back with a 50 megapixel primary sensor, and that is the Sony IMX882, which is quite a new primary sensor, and we've seen it being used previously in the Poco X7, Poco X7 Pro, the Poco F6, the Realme Neo 7 SE, the Realme GT Neo 6, the Vivo V40 Lite, and a few others. The phone also has an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and it's the Galaxy Core GC08A8. So that is the same ultra wide sensor as we've seen in the Infinix Smart 9, the Infinix Hot 50 Pro, and amongst a few others. And on the front we have a 32 megapixel selfie camera. So exciting bunch of cameras there. Let's check out the samples. 4K 60. Okay, now other things to point out, we have Android 15 with FunTouch OS 15 on top. Now the OS is fast and fluid as we've seen in the past, but some bloatware apps are included as standard, which you're most likely going to end up uninstalling anyway, and it's quite simple to do. The phone has a pretty good in-display fingerprint sensor and face unlock both work great. You get the usual NFC, Bluetooth 5.4, this has Wi-Fi 7 along with an IR blaster located on top. And to give you an idea of how this phone ranks, here is my top performing smartphone chart of 2025, showing you the latest smartphones and seeing how they compare with each other. Now all smartphones are ranked by Geekbench multi-core scores, so higher the score, faster the phone, and therefore higher it ranks on this chart. For some people who are not bothered about benchmarks, I've also given each phone a rating out of 100 based on the features and specs. So you can see exactly which phone is the most powerful and which phone overall is the best in terms of rating. So based on that, the IQOO Neo 10 takes position 16 on this chart with a Geekbench multi-core score of 6827. And I've given this phone an overall rating of 90 out of 100. So there you have it guys, that was the IQOO Neo 10. And let me break it down for you guys. So you get an elegant design with matte finish, it's quite slim and light, you have a beautiful AMOLED HDR10 display, a very good flagship performance, equivalent or slightly better than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, you've got good cameras for videos and photos, great quality stereo speakers, a large silicon carbon battery offering great battery life, and a super fast 120 watt fast charger included in the box, getting you from 0 to 100% in just 36 minutes. FunTouch OS is pretty fast and fluid with lots of customization features. So another affordable mid-range price smartphone, but this one comes with a more powerful flagship chipset, a bigger battery, a faster refresh rate with a beautiful AMOLED screen, making this an overall exciting package for the price. Now, based on the rumors, it's going to be well under £400. So if that's true, then this is bang for your buck territory right here. If you have any questions or anything you want me to test, do let me know in the comments. Meanwhile, if you want to see more of my latest and greatest unbiased tech reviews, then hit the like button, sub to the channel, and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.